All right, time now is 9:38, and he's an internationally renowned photographer, also filmmaker, and he's right here sharing his talent and mental health struggles in his book, The Color of Everything. Cory Richards joining us now. I just told you seconds ago, I love your last name.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We have that in common, Richards. Good to see you. Good. Thanks for stopping by here at Fox 5. Talk about this book. What is it all about? Obviously, adventure.
Yeah, well,
tell us more.
It's, you know, I actually had to sort of fight really hard with my publisher, Random House, because, you know, it sort of puts forward as adventure, but actually it's really all about mental health.
Oh, okay.
And it's about my journey with that, but also kind of dives into the psychology of how we develop,
Gotcha.
why we do the things we do, and ultimately is about the stories we're telling.
Mm-hmm. Now, speaking about mental health, it looks here that you were in high school when you were diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was diagnosed with bipolar 2 when I was 14 years old, but really I wasn't in high school anymore. It was around that time that I dropped out, and this is after being in psychiatric units and then in long-term inpatient, outpatient care for about 8 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
When did you kind of turn to books? When did that kind of help you kind of guide your way through life?
Well, it was after my climbing career. So I was a professional athlete, mostly focusing in high altitude, alpinism and mountaineering. And I also worked as a photographer for National Geographic.
Oh, wow.
So those two careers came to an end actually on the heels of what's called a mixed episode, in which you're experiencing, in my case, hypomania and sort of crushing depression at the same time. And it was after that that I sort of started to look into, really dive into the why of things, and the natural expression of that, because I am a creative person, was to write.
Right. So photography, though, has kind of guided you as well.
Photography, I think, was very much a way for me to express sort of my internal experience with the world.
Gotcha.
And also to stake a claim in the world. Because I think for me, one of the things with mental health and the stories of it is that oftentimes people can feel like there's a deficit or that they don't matter. So in many ways, photography was also a way to kind of say to the world, I do matter. But ultimately, what I found was that really wasn't the thing.
Right. What has been, I guess, the most exotic or craziest experience you've had photographing? It's probably taken you all over the world, right?
Yeah, I mean, all 7 continents, and I did this for about 20 years. And, you know, of course, there's the summit of Everest without oxygen. That's a pretty interesting place to be. There was nobody else there. It's not like the pictures you see. But I think my favorite was my first assignment for the magazine, which was to a place called Mustang on the border of Nepal and Tibet. And we were using climbing to access ancient caves, specifically burial crypts, to study the pathway of human migration by studying teeth in these ancient skulls.
Yeah, so you don't forget that experience at all.
You don't forget that one.
Not
you
at
don't
all.
forget that one.
Oh, we have some photos of you too. I guess talking about the extreme conditions you've been in. What would that be? What was that like? And I guess where did you end up?
I mean, the extreme conditions have ranged from crazy hot jungles in Myanmar, walking through these jungles for 150 miles, to, again, you know, the high Himalaya. On one expedition, we were climbing Gasherbrum 2 in Pakistan in the winter, 3 of us, and in the tent with 3 of us all packed in there, it was minus 51 degrees. Oh. So yeah, it's ranged.
You didn't feel your body.
Yeah. It's sort of masochistic.
Oh my gosh. Wow,
yeah.
That is wild. Now, we kind of spoke about what made you want to write this book. Is there anything else you want to kind of add? Because you will be speaking, right? You have an event.
Yeah. So I'm going to be speaking at Miracle Babies, their fundraiser. And, you know, really what I want to invite people into is really their own validation with mental health and understanding that this is not something that's fundamentally wrong with us. Neurodivergence, generally speaking, can be a result of trauma. Trauma is something that happens to us. And so my invitation is really to examine the stories we're telling that we pick up from childhood, that we think about all the time, that might actually be holding us captive, you know, and ask if these stories are useful and reframing that narrative.
Well, let's put up the event one more time on the screen. Breakfast at Tiffany's, Wednesday, 10:30 to 1:30, happening at the La Valencia Hotel, of course, in La Jolla. I have to ask, too, where is your next adventure? Where is that taking you? Or do you know?
You know what? My next adventure is this. I've really settled into that this moment is where it all happens. It is so special to just to wake up breathing. And rather than having to chase that to the ends of the earth, I've kind of come to the idea and realization that every day is a gift, and we're all miracle babies.
So live in the moment.
Live in the moment.
All right. Well, Cory Richards, appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming
and your
down.
book's right there.
Yeah, this is the book.
Thank you so much.
Take care. See ya.
Of course, if you want more information on his book, fox5sandiego.com, we have all the information. Click on the Scene On tab. 9:43 is the time.